Hello and welcome to the show, our Halloween special spooky series. I am so excited for tonight. I think I say that every time though. I'm like so excited because everybody I have on, I get excited because I love meeting new people. I love going through and adding to these mysteries and trying to figure out answers to questions that we don't know. I'm Stacey Leigh, your host.
I'm Gary Lee.
My co-host, and welcome to the show tonight. And before we get started and we introduce our guests and our special co-host tonight, I just want to go over some of our, I am out of order. Let's go back. So I just want to go over some of our housekeeping. So we still have sponsorship opportunities available. I will create an ad for you. We will post it on here, like the ones you've seen of our sponsors that are here already. And then I will also post on social media sites once a month or 3 times a month for you guys. Halloween, we're having a boo bash at the 1912 Hoover House. I will be offering psychic readings. There's a history tour, a costume contest, a root beer float. We do this every year here, and it is amazing. There's going to be finger foods, Deadly Grounds coffee, and dance until your feet go off. And that's $25 a person. You may contact the number right down here on that Hoover House sign to get your reservations. And then tomorrow or Friday night at the Hoover House, there is a family night with root beer floats and wreath making. It is all the supplies you need to make a wreath. You don't need to bring anything. Everything's going to be there, $25, and you can make a wreath. And root beer floats are $5. That's also at the historic 1912 Hoover House. And then Central PA Tattoo and Horror Expo is coming up October 18th and 20th. I will be there offering readings as well as my wares. There is lots of great tattoo artists there, lots of horror celebrities. Please come check that out. It is going to be amazing. We are still offering our hoodies and our t-shirts for cooler season. We have the hoodies and long sleeve, but we also have the short sleeve as well. And a message from one of our sponsors. There is 3 French Bulldog pups on the hunt for their possum forever homes. Actually, I think one of them is spoken for, has been reserved. So we have this one. I don't remember their names. I am sorry. And then we have, oh, so cute. Oh my goodness. I could just love them and squeeze them all day long. I actually met these little potatoes. They are adorable. I love them so much. And they will be ready for Halloween. So these spooky dogs can be ready for you for Halloween. And they come with all shots, wormed, microchip, health certificates, a goodie bag, starter food, and a baby book. You can contact Shauna at this number, and they're in Strongstown, PA, but they will deliver within reason. So our next sponsor, there's a Halloween Madness going on this weekend. I will not be part of that, but they are having indoor vendors, tarot readings, raffle basket, Reiki, fairy hair. There's all kinds of great things going on there. They are just outside of Pottstown, I believe is the main town in Glenmore, PA. They are a small little crystal shop, but amazing energy. Please go check them out. And they have lots of other events up here that they are doing for the month, for the rest of the year. Again, the main Paranormal and Horror Con coming up next September at the Augusta Civic Center in Maine. And this event is going to be off the charts. It is already starting to turn out to be a great event, and it's going to be amazing. Please check it out. Go to their Facebook page and try to and follow them and find all the updates. So back to us. So tonight, let's say hello to Audrey. She always likes to come in and say hello. She has a nice little new friend Moth. He's injured.
His name is Jeff.
His name is Jeff, which is funny. We have Jeff.
Oh,
yes. Well, now I just gave it away who our host is. He is injured, so she is trying to heal him and bring him back. But he has a burnt, melted wing, so I'm assuming he went to the flame, which moths do. All right. I love you. Go have a good night. So tonight we have someone very special on, as someone that I'm just fascinated by. It is actually 1:30 in the morning where he is at. He is from Scotland. He calls himself the walking Ouija board, and we're going to find out why when I bring him on stage. But I wanted to also bring a co-host on tonight who is I hate to use that word. I'm not going to use the word expert, but who is knows a lot about Ouija boards, has a Ouija board museum. And I wanted to bring them two together and connect. So this is a very exciting evening. So I'm going to welcome Damien and Jeff from Jeff's Traveling Boards. Hello, guys.
How you doing?
How's it going?
All right. We have Jenny Davis saying welcome and hello. Hi, Jenny. And then we have Sadie saying hello. Sadie is someone I met recently, and she's just got some wonderful, wonderful energy. So I thank you guys for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
Obviously, we have the walking Ouija board, and then we have the Ouija board museum guy. Who, Jeff, you have how many in your collection?
Over 180.
Wow,
that's
Jeff
not
has
even
over
including planchettes.
that's a lot.
Yes, 180, and so Jeff likes to scour the globe to collect Ouija boards. I'm going to try my best. He doesn't go to Scotland, where Damien is, and try to collect him. We had a little joke earlier today that Steve Dills said that Jeff was going to trap him and bring him into his museum. And Jeff's like, I would, but it's illegal.
It's called kidnapping.
Like my wife says, it's like the Pokemon trading club for Ouija board fanatics.
Do you have any human skin boards?
I actually have a human blood board and a human scapula planchette.
Nice. That's cool.
Yes.
A lot of people get freaked out by that one.
You used it?
A little bit.
I haven't used it, no.
Oh.
I won't use my museum pieces.
Yes. So we have Jenny's on here. Okay, I'm like, why are comments coming up? And I don't. Thank you, Jenny. Love you. I'm gonna get off my mouse now and let you take care of things. Jenny helps me out sometimes with comments and stuff like that. She is amazing person. So, I have so many questions and so much I want to ask, and it's just I know I've seen you on a podcast before, Damien. We became I just was fascinated with you, and we had some conversations during that podcast that we have a lot of connections with the elemental worlds and fairies and gnomes, and because I'm a Celtic, I have a Celtic background. I'm an Islander myself.
Nice.
And I really feel that we have a lot of the same way. I know. I always take mine off too because of the glare.
Yeah. I'm supposed to wear them because I've got eyeball damage on one side.
Oh, how did that occur?
Working at a nightclub and somebody threw an ice cube and it took a chunk out of the eyeball.
Ooh.
Oh, damn, ice cube.
Oh, seriously. That's
It's one of them things. Wrong place, wrong time.
You have a lot of things. Wrong place, wrong time. So how did you discover, obviously you why do you, let's go there first. Why do you call yourself the walking Ouija board?
Now, it's better if I show because it's more easier, but I technically have the whole Ouija board on my body, and it starts here.
That is so cool.
And I use a wolf tooth pendulum to use it.
Okay. A wolf tooth.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Oh. So when you go
shipped across from Tibet.
Oh wow. So why a wolf tooth?
Wolf tattoo.
Okay.
One of my spirit animals.
So that's like one spirit animals. Yeah, like a spirit animal.
Of them, yeah.
Okay.
That one that and a spider. Hence I've got sapphire just here in my tank. Tarantula.
Okay. A tarantula? You have a tarantula? Oh, I love spiders. I do love spiders.
Can't handle
see, we even have similar. Is that one you can't handle? Yeah.
Yeah.
Old have similar spirit animals too. Yeah.
Well, she's a cobalt blue, so she bites me. I'll be in the hospital for 7 weeks.
Like they can do that. They can.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's number one, fastest, most aggressive, most defensive, most dangerous. You take your pick.
Oh wow. So Jenny asked, what got you into the paranormal and Ouija?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was born in a haunted house.
Oh, you're born.
I think a lot of
They
people,
saw.
that's how it started. You have experiences in childhood, correct?
Yeah, I kind of grew up with it, and family history as well. They were always in sort of like pagans, tarot readings, tea leaf readings, all that
Mhm.
kind of thing. So it's kind of passed on through the generations. It's more so
So
with the
you have
female
more of a
side.
family history. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more so with the females side of things than it is the males. I seem to be sort of like the odd bod, the black sheep.
I know that
Maybe you
feeling.
have some feminine. Yeah. Jeff, how did you get into Ouija boards?
I was raised Christian. I was never allowed to have anything to do with Ouija boards or witchcraft or anything. And about 6 years ago, my fiance Ashley gave me my first board, and I've now have over $100,000 invested in Ouija boards.
It's got a little obsession.
You know, just
Show off.
Little.
Yeah. Once you get to know Jeff, Jeff doesn't go half-ass on anything.
Yeah.
He definitely goes all in. If he's going to
go
do
big
it,
or go home.
he's going to
Yeah.
go big or go home. That is Jeff. Like, it is totally Jeff. So you say you, Damien, you use the wolf tooth pendulum.
Mhm.
Like, I'm trying to picture that. Do you like hold out both arms? Or are you underneath? Is it on a stand or is it?
It hangs on a stand over my arms,
Okay.
so I'm not actually holding the pen. I'm not actually holding the tooth at all, and it just swings over the letters that it needs to, and then I can decipher from that. But not only that, I don't even need to use the wolf tooth because it feels like a static sensation. So I can
That's what I was
actually
gonna
pick
ask.
out.
Oh,
I can
wow.
pick out the letters usually, as long as it's not too fast.
That is so fascinating. So there is more of that psychic connection that you have to
Yeah.
the Ouija tattoo, I guess what you call it. Jenny's asked, can you show us the tooth?
I can. Hang on.
Not your tooth, the wolf tooth.
There's the first one.
Oh wow.
It's got That one was from sterling. It's got sterling silver on it.
Okay.
But this is the one. This is the one from Tibet.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
So yeah,
Those are big teeth.
yeah, big doggies. I've got one made with obsidian as well, just in case I need it for protection or strength, or just in case. But I've never had to use that one.
Sadie says, how did you acquire the tooth? I know you said you got one from India. And then the
Tibet,
other
yeah.
one, Tibet. I'm sorry. Why did I say
Yeah.
India?
The other one was from a local zoo. I just went in and asked them for a tooth.
Okay. Hello, Russ. Russ has joined us. He
My
says
man.
Ouija boards are fake. They are a novelty.
Shut up, Russ. Your feet stink.
I mean, that man's working hard at the minute.
He is. I can't believe he had time to come on tonight. He probably just walked through the door and just got home, just cracked a beer and trying to relax from the end of the day. He
And smoking
Russ
a cigarette.
and smoking a cigarette, and yes, Russ is the host of Compass Curiosities and co-host of Unturned Pages with Jenny. He's taking a break right now because he is super busy managing the Spirit Halloween.
Yeah.
So he has been on the show as before as well too. So I can't wait till his show comes back, but I know he's got to do what he's got to do right now during busy season.
Yeah.
It's almost over now, I guess. I hate to say that, but it is.
Oh, don't say that. It's not the end of the month yet. Come on.
Every
know,
day's
but
a
it'll-
spooky season. It's winter. Long, cold
I
nights.
know.
Dark. Brilliant.
I love
'Cause
the
then-
winter.
Because then we have Krampus.
We
Then
have
I
what?
got ice fishing.
Ice fishing, I know
Jeff
about.
does
What was
ice.
it? What was it? Krampus?
Krampus.
What?
Krampus.
What's that?
Krampus.
Krampus.
You don't know what that is. Krampus.
Is it Krampus?
Y-
The guy
It
that
is
steals
Krampus.
children.
He is the demon of Christmas, basically. I'm actually trying to get someone to come on during December to talk about him. Someone that knows more about it than I do.
I know the Grinch.
It is. That's where the Grinch came from. The idea of the
Okay.
Krampus is a horned. Hold on. I might have to put my glasses on for this one.
That's the same as me.
He is a
Russ, get in your
horned
Krampus outfit.
anthropomorphic figure in Central and Eastern Alpine folklore tradition. It is said to accompany Saint Nicholas on visits to children during the night of December 5th, immediately before the feast of Saint Nicholas on December 6th. So he captures the kids who have been bad, basically. And that happens like that first weekend in December. So, yeah.
That's a different one.
Jeff Bellinger wrote a book about him. Yeah, Jeff. So that's someone I probably need to get on the show. We're gonna contact that person. But yes, so that's the spooky. We can still be spooky in December.
Every day's a spooky season for me. I'd rather have Halloween every day than Christmas.
Russ says, Jenny, I'm listening to Stacey tell me who Krampus is, even though I dress up as him. So Jeff, what questions do you have before I don't know how long you can be on here before you have to get off or anything like that for Damien? And no, you cannot have him. Unless he agrees. Unless he agrees to like
be honest,
we could do like a circus.
You know, it'd be funny if he actually came over to the States when I set up my museum at one of the shows, and then he just sits there and be like, "Yes, I'm part of the museum too."
I'd definitely steal a board or two. They'd be up my shirt, that's for sure.
I got a lot
Jeff
of cool
had some
ones.
experience with boards. Yeah.
But no, it'll be a while before I can get across to the States.
Yeah, we were
Oh,
just
when
talking
you
about
do,
that.
you'll have to see my museum set up.
Well, I'm trying to get you across the pond, Jeff, and get you over to some of the events over there. So that would be kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
You should look into the Festival of the Unknown next year.
That'd be interesting.
That would be. But I just had a question on my mind and it went out of my head. Gary, do you have any? Oh, that's what I was going to ask. So Ouija boards in general, obviously, Jeff, you have one that you have very well protected because it's caused you some strife. Ouija boards can be possessed, so to speak, or attached. How does that work with you, Damien? Since you're a living creature, you have your own will and you can offset some of this stuff. Has anything ever tried to attach to you?
I let them. I probably
sound like my husband. That's not safe.
Well, my last count I had about 520, and I've probably now got about 700 with it, hopefully. But the only problem with that is when I sleep, my dreams aren't mine. I will say that. Which is why I don't sleep.
You feel like they're still with you?
Oh, they're always with me. Always with me.
Okay.
So I know I've got this, they'll always be with me. Even if I'd have to chop my arms off.
Because they do attach to like the boards. I guess they're attached to you now. How does it affect your life?
We've got an agreement. I helped them, so they helped me.
Okay, nothing
if a building was going to get demolished, I knew there were spirits there. I can go in, explain to them what's going to happen, give them an opportunity to attach to me and come with me, so they're not stuck in the building, getting aggressive because it's been changed or dehoused or dehomed. So I try and look after them, give them a home, which scares a lot of people.
Way look at it.
It sounds like you. He's very similar. Like he does that when we go places and he gets spirits attached to them and he just takes them and shows them things that they want to see. And, he had an attachment after being in Gettysburg at one of the battlefield locations, and it wanted to go see modern day military equipment. And Gary went and showed them that. And yeah, so that must be. Does it drive you mad?
It used to. But I've got that many now. It's so much noise. It's like trying to get 100 people through a doorway. They get stuck. So, but it means I can't be attacked by anything because I've got such a big army attached to me. Nothing can get through to me. So they protect
Yeah,
me
that would
now.
make sense.
Yeah.
It's a win-win
Yeah.
situation for me.
If you have an agreement with them, and you know, I can see that. So you're kind of like, I'm totally going Ghostbusters here, but what's the thing called where they trap the ghost in? Where are my Ghostbuster geeks at? Like where they
Ooh.
trap. You know what I'm saying? That they
That's
catch
a
them in the
neutron.
thing.
That's a
Like,
neutron pack. I know that's the neutron pack. I don't know what the thing is on the floor that they hit.
yeah, when
trying
they put him in the building, like
Is it the extractor or something?
I don't know. When the extractor would take him out and put him in this, they had him
Yeah,
locked in.
They released it in number 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're kind of
I
like
don't
that.
remember.
You're kind of like, well, going to take him
Yeah.
with you. So, yeah, that's, I don't know how, see, as a medium, I walk into a place and spirits just sometimes reach out to me. I've learned I take protection's my thing, like to the point where I almost changed my name to Obsidian Lee, because that is my biggest, because I've had so much issues. That's my biggest thing. Maybe I might protect too much sometimes, but I'm not one of those mediums that will cold read very often. Sometimes it does happen. But I can block myself. When I go to events, I'll block myself and I'll be like, look, I'm not doing this here. And so I do a lot of blocking. I can't imagine, like, I can imagine just having them like trailing me and being around me all the time. That must, like you said, your dreams aren't yours.
Yeah, that's probably the worst of it. But I do find a lot of things out and about walking. I could walk down the street and just find random objects. And it'll take me to the best.
Like
The best
your
one I found
spirits.
was a gold human tooth ring, which I came across in the street, and I spent 2 years trying to find the owner for and couldn't. But that was really powerful that I couldn't control, so I sent that to a haunted museum for safekeeping.
Okay. That's intense. That's really intense.
Yeah, it is.
Jeff, tell your story about what happened with the board that you have locked up. So I think
Which
Damien
one?
would like to
The
hear
cat killer?
that. Oh, I forgot about that one. I'm talking about the one
I'm
that
like,
you
cat
recently
killer?
got
What?
at
Yeah, I
talk
have
about
a
the
board
cat killer.
called
That
Cat
he's
Killer.
yeah.
I have one called Cat Killer, one called Tornado. But we'll
Okay.
do the Cat Killer. So I got this board on eBay. The guy said it was haunted. That's all he wrote about it. And it was from 1940s. It was a Swami Ouija board. And I'm like, I don't have that one yet. I need it. I don't give a shit if it's haunted. So I bought it. I was getting ready to head to New Jersey Para-Unity last year. So I had him ship it to my grandmother's house where my cat lived.
Oh, that's right. I remember this story now. Okay.
And the day it arrived, my grandmother brought it into her house. And that night, my cat walked in, went to bed, and died. The guy sent me an email stating the fact that he hopes I don't have cats. He doesn't want it back. It hates cats and all this other stuff. And the day it arrived, my cat dies.
Crikey.
So I
You got a
called
new
the
cat?
cat killer board.
You got a new cat?
No,
No. You didn't
I
risk it.
actually just lost my second cat yesterday.
Oh, right.
I was just going to
Sorry
say
for
that. It's funny that you're bringing that up. You just had a cat you lost yesterday.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
You don't think
I'm feeling bad about that. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Is
It was
that you
rough.
don't think that's connected? Do you?
I would hope not. It's almost a year to the day, though.
It is almost a year to the day. It is very close.
It was
That's
less
interesting.
than, it was just shy of 12 months since the cat killer
Yeah.
board came into my life when he killed the
Okay.
first cat the day it arrived.
So did you have that one
Hmm.
blocked away in a protective case or anything?
Yes, it's in a case. It won't come out of the case. It's blessed. It's been through the ringer.
Okay.
It doesn't even
Hmm.
look like the board in the picture anymore because of all the stuff that we did to it.
Yeah, that one's been.
You can still
Yeah.
make it out. It just looks like crap now instead of somewhat nice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then
And
we
then
got
your
Do you think
next
maybe
one.
So do you
Oh,
think
go ahead.
actually damaging the board and that actually caused it to kick off?
I believe it does. My cat, yes, he was 20 years old, but he was active every single day. He was always fine. Coincidence or not a coincidence, the day that board arrived, that night he went in to go to bed and just never
Mhm.
woke up.
Wow.
I don't know. Definitely a weird phenomena, that's for sure.
What about the
Mhm.
tornado board?
Tornado board. It's a 1940s Ouija board.
I just want to. I love Ouija boards, as you can imagine.
Mhm.
Yep. As do I.
You
um,
got to see his museum. It's amazing. You need to like connect
yeah,
on
shoot
for
me a
sure.
message. I'll send you a video of my museum set up at in
Mhm.
Mass
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Marathon last weekend.
But
But
tornado
the
board, we all know
tornado.
about that.
If you were at the bash in 2023, you did not hear about this.
Mhm.
So in 2023, I guess surrendered this board. They found it behind a secret wall somewhere in Pennsylvania in a basement.
Okay.
They got in there and it was the only thing in the room. And the person of the house said they wanted it removed, taken out. So they had it in there like garage up in the ceiling for a while. Then I came to Gettysburg, set up my museum. They're like, Jeff, do you take boards? And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Bring it in. I'll take it. The day they gave it to me, I had it in the back of the trailer right towards the end when I shut it up for the night. And that night around, I think it was like 11:30, I went up to go to bed. I wasn't in bed more than 5 minutes, and all of a sudden, my wife Ashley calls me and goes, "You need to get down here. Shit just hit the fucking fan." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! What the fuck's going on?" Because I'm like
Mhm.
half in the bag from drinking at the party all night, and
Mhm.
freaking all of a sudden she goes, "Tornado just hit. Tent's gone. Everything's gone." I'm like freaking out. Got my clothes back on, ran downstairs, got to the bottom of the stairs. It was like a wind tunnel coming through the hotel. I was like, holy crap, what the hell's going on? And I freaking got outside. Within 2 seconds of being out there, I was completely drenched. Torrential downpours. Freaking people. One of our friends grabbed a hold of our tent to try to hold it down. She went up
It was
with the
like Mary
tent like
Poppins.
Mary Poppins holding an umbrella, got
Mhm.
wrapped up in the metal and brought back down.
Wow.
And we don't get tornadoes in Gettysburg, so
And
it was
it and
very
it
rare occurrence.
started basically at the back of my trailer.
And it literally just hit him. Like
Wow.
it was like just him. It went up on the porch a little bit, but then it was done. So it was like, and I don't think they called it a tornado. I think technically it was like a, what
Water
does they call that?
spout.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Water spout. It's a water spout. Is a tornado just with
Yeah,
water.
thing they set up here.
yeah. So it came through and literally just targeted Jeff and his museum that was outside and all his stuff, nothing else.
Flaming or no wonder you called it a tornado board.
Yep. And I used to own another board. I sold it because I needed the money for winter. I
Yeah.
wish I didn't. But the guy offered me 1,500 cash for it, and I could not refuse.
Must have been a
Especially when
good
I.
board.
But it would. The first event I set up at, I had a 10 by 20 space. I put it up on the side wall. About an hour after I put it up there, it projectiled to the opposite side of the booth, going over two tables and only stopping because it hit the opposite wall.
Nice.
And it was witnessed by other people too. And it was like, they're like, did that really just happen? Yes, it did.
I unfortunately was not there. I was out squatching.
Oh, I'd love to
Uh,
sassy. I'd love to go looking for sassy.
That's what we do. That's Gary and I are more of the elemental
Yeah.
investigators. We go squatching and looking for Mothman is my big thing. Like recently it's been called to me. Like I don't know. I just feel a connection to the earth, and those are spirits. Like really, feel like they need more attention.
I want to go hunting for Nessie.
We were just talking about that.
Concrete shoes.
Concrete shoes. Do you mean like so you sink in the water? Concrete shoes.
Either that or a floating tent.
Oh Jesus!
That's what I want to do. That's my plan. But I'm
the
crazy.
Floating tent. Yeah. Well, I think all of us here are crazy. We're all in that category of like we're gonna try it once type of people. Maybe not you. He actually keeps me from not doing things. He's like, is that a smart idea? But it is like I feel so over in Scotland. You're in Scotland. I don't know if we've told everybody that you guys are in Scotland. And is there you guys? I just said you guys. So there is definitely more than one of you. Like that wasn't a slip of the mouth. But is there do you call it Sasquatch in Scotland, or is there another type of what other creatures, like cryptid creatures, are over there?
Oh, but there is quite a few. A lot of them are mainly water-based, sort of like the further north you go, sort of like towards Highlands and things. But you've got the fairy circles, you've got trolls, you've got goblins, you've got tommyknockers, you've got wolfman or beastman, you've got pigman, all the elementals. There is quite a few. I mean, there is a SASI reports which the American team flew over from the States and confirmed was genuine. So I think the fact that us being a small island and nobody looking for it, I mean, I think a lot of it's actually went unnoticed or misinterpreted something else. So I can't see how it can't travel.
I had so many different thoughts on. Sorry, my candle is very tall right now. So many different thoughts on what a Sasquatch is. Like, is it a living creature? Is it a elemental type creature? Is it a creature that's been invoked to protect the land? And like, there's so many different sightings throughout all of the world. Some places call them things very differently. But
I'd say it's more earthbound than spiritual.
That's what I think.
It has too much interaction with its surroundings, like making trees, snapping them, looking for food, things like that. It needs sustenance. So I think it's actual earthbound than an elemental. I could be wrong, but
yeah, I don't know. I like there's days that I think, oh, it's definitely an elemental creature, interdimensional type creature. But then there's days that I'm like when I go out squatching and I see like the trees, the tree teepees, whatever you want to call them, and the structures, and snapped, and I'm like, he's got to be, a not human, but a living biological creature. It's just it's fascinating to me. One day I will find him. Is what I keep saying.
We will.
I'm the same. Like I say, I was supposed to be going to Loch Ness this week for Power Stream to do some filming. Hopefully,
that sounds like fun.
And look for tommyknockers, but underground caves is the scary thing. Not for the beasties and the animals; they don't bother me. It's the underground one way in and one way out that scares me.
So, I've done a lot of studying of elementals. I'm actually in the process of writing a book about it, and most of those elemental type creatures originate in Scotland, Ireland, Norway, that whole Islander region. If you guys don't know what I mean when I say Islander, it's people up there in like Norway, Scotland, Ireland. They're all called Islanders because they're islands, and like a lot of that originates there. I think that it was an Irishman, the first person that kind of wrote about the different like fire, water, earth. Which one am I missing? Air. Elementals.
I think it was actually Chinese. It was the Chinese first dynasty, I think, that actually started off with the elementals.
Okay.
Yeah. From what I've read, there's still a tomb that's not been opened from the first dynasty. It's still sealed because they're too scared to open it. So, and that's going back to the 200 BC. So that's pretty far back. But you've also got the Turkey ruins with the hieroglyphs and things, which also show elementals. So I think it's been.
That's true.
I think it's widespread across the world.
I think so too, and I think what I meant by that is not that they didn't create it. It's like the romanticism.
I think they brought it to light. They brought it out.
They brought it to light more of that romantic, like festivals that we do now, the fairy festivals and stuff like that. And a lot of that originates to like the Celtic backgrounds.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So Sadie is saying there's someone hanging out in the living room. I can see it sometimes. Which living room? There's 3 of us here, Sadie. We probably all have all things.
Please say
I'm actually freaking sitting on my bed, so.
Are you on your bed? Okay. I'm in my office.
Yeah.
And Damien, I don't know where you're at.
I'm in my bedroom cum studio. It does everything. Okay. I live in one room.
I make my bed into a couch, so.
Oh, I've got one of them, an L couch.
Yep.
Good man.
King sass.
Transformer mode. Daytime to nighttime.
Exactly. It's awesome.
So, you were talking about Tommy knockers. I know a little bit about Tommy knockers. Can you tell us, like, in the audience, what is a Tommy knockers?
I would say it's probably the best way to describe it would be a cave goblin that alerts miners and things of dangers that are coming and tries to look after them, but they can also be menacing, like leprechauns, sort of thing. So, I think they're the protectors of the rocks. It's kind of like I'd say it's more like an earth elemental of some description, because they do seem to be underground. So I'd say they're the earth elementals.
Yeah, that's definitely more of an earth, and that's what I think of when I think of Tommy knockers is like the leprechauns. I'm Irish. That's where most of my roots are from. So it's. I think of those little mischievous.
I was gonna say little mischievous little things.
Little mischievous, but living underground.
I've always found if you talk about leprechauns, bad things happen.
And see, like that's where a lot of things we I don't want to use the word, but romanticize like these elemental creatures. Like there's a cereal and there's like let's create these like I worked in schools before and you create like the leprechaun comes and brings you candy and all this stuff. Well, if it's coming to bring you candy, it's coming to steal your soul. Or like.
Well, the reason I had to read up on elementals is because whilst ghost hunting, there was things happening that I couldn't explain through the spiritual side of things. And that's the avenues. Then I thought, right, well, if you're looking for the spirits, you're going to come across these things. So you've got to be prepared. So
that happens to me a lot. Yeah.
Basically did the A to Z and tried to cover as much as I could and learn.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened to me. Like because I've always been very connected to the earth. I've always been, my grandmother was a Native American and then I have a Druid background in my Irish family. And it's like, so earth has always been where I am connected. And as a child, I remember seeing fairies and seeing things and seeing these things of the earth, being able to hear the trees, being able to talk to plants and knowing what they were saying. And so I feel like, that is something that when I go investigate now, like it still comes to present. Like there's so much like, you ever been to a town and anybody in the audience, like been to a town or a city or somewhere that just has the entire energy of this town? You can feel it, whether it be good or bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's an elemental piece. Like that's the elementals of the land that have, either been fed or starved.
Yeah.
And causing havoc.
Yeah, it could
possibly.
Be. Well, we still don't know what the food source is for the spirits. We know it's energy, but what kind of energy? So I've been practicing. Yeah, I've been practicing with AC and DC currents to see if it makes a difference, along with FM and AM frequencies. So it's still a learning curve, but there's still a lot out there that's unknown, too unknown.
Yeah, and if you think, let's theorize that a little bit. Like before we had all of the, we've always had the currents. The currents have always been here on the earth. We've just learned how to utilize them and turn them into radio and turn them into what we're doing right now. Yeah. Like, when you have like different elements, I guess there would be different sources. Like an earth element might have a different source than the air element, because the wind itself would probably be their source, fire elements. But when we come down to the earth, like, is it the energy, the vibration of the earth, the vibration of us too? And maybe that's why they feel connected to certain souls.
I would say it's the earth, because it resonates I think it's 23 seconds. The earth actually resonates. So I believe it's got something to do with that.
What is that called? Hold on. Why am I the resonance, the earth?
I cannot remember.
There's someone.
There is a terminology. I can't remember what it is without looking. And I'm actually in the Spirit app at the minute. So, does anybody know what Aldos means?
What is it?
Aldos. ALDOUS.
Aldos.
No, I've heard that.
I'd have to Google it. I can't Google it at the minute.
Okay. I'm looking right now. I'm getting like places.
I can't remember what it's called. Did
you spell it right?
I'm getting
ALDOUS.
a pizza shop.
You didn't spell it right. ALDOUS.
Oh, US?
ALDOUS. Right there.
Okay, there's a writer called Aldous Huxley. He's an English writer. Brave New World, he wrote.
Well, we're talking about earth elementals.
I know, that's what I'm looking right now.
See, a lot of people don't like the digital side of things because they think like it word generators and it's no good. And but I think there is something to the digital side of things. So I've been kind of running practices with it and seeing if it would actually make a difference. And it's getting good results.
I like digital. I know people think it's fake or however you want to word it, but I do think that it is something that Schumann resonance. There we go. Someone did the Schumann resonance. Resonance.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have dyslexia.
It resonates every 23 seconds. So.
Yes.
Whether that's got something to do with the energy through the ley lines, I'm not sure yet. That still needs a lot of work.
When you start to bring in things like Tesla, like not the car,
Tesla. Natural Tesla coils and stuff, yeah.
What he was doing and like some of the stuff that he tapped into, like this natural energy of the earth. Brave New World actually depicted a future with universal happiness is only achieved by thoroughly dehumanizing humanity. So that's kind of deep.
I'd say that was actually quite fitting for what we were talking about.
I think it was actually. I think it actually was. So yeah, I mean, because we have this. Well, I study human design. I studied the human condition, and like, we're hedonistic by nature. We are selfish. We are hedonistic. We want to fulfill our needs. Like that, no one can argue that. Like that, we try, and that's what spiritualism and trying to get to enlightenment is to rid ourselves of this selfishness of fulfilling our own needs to rise and help others. I mean, that is the human condition to me. That it is. We all have part of that. So we need to dehumanize to rise, to be enlightened, to be able to connect with the spiritual world. So I don't know.
It's definitely got more selfish, and the humanity. It's got some more selfish as the years went on.
It has. But survival, like we're made for survival. We want to survive. That is not.
Of course we do.
Anything. Our brains are made for survival, and that's where a lot of our stuff comes from. And even now, like things like people bullying and not liking each other, it's a threat. I guess a superficial threat to self and thinking, but it comes back to that survival need.
Well, I've died 6 times, so 7 being
you what?
I've died 6 times, so you get used to it after a bit.
Tell me about that. You've died 6 times.
Drowned twice, electrocuted twice, choked twice.
Really? Is that coming from
and cancer? So you could say that was 7.
Okay. So is that coming from like these? You think these spirits that are with you, like, are they causing
Oh
some of
no,
this strife for you?
this is going back to so like between I was from the age of 6 to 18, so you're talking like 30 years plus. I haven't died
Okay.
since. Had cancer when I was 26. That's probably the closest.
What kind of cancer did you have?
Um, male.
Okay. That's all you got to say.
A yolk sac teratoma malignant is what they called it.
Well, I'm
Oh,
glad you're here with us now because I
Yeah.
feel like, do you feel like, I hate to say, do you feel special? But do you feel
No.
like you have a purpose? Do you feel like that you're here?
Well,
Like
I
there's a
didn't
reason
go
you're
to
here.
hell. I didn't go to hell and I didn't go to heaven, so none of them want me. So I must be in the right place.
I like that.
Sent here to
Um,
help the dead. So that's the way That's what I'm doing.
yeah, you're almost like a living reaper.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is still a lot of spirits that won't talk to me. But nobody's perfect.
What is yours? Tell me something that really scared you. Jeff, actually, you know what? Before I do that, I see Jeff's like laying his head on his bed there. Do you have any other questions for him? Because I don't want to like keep you out of this. Like we got
Oh,
into like more
you're
important
all
conversation.
good.
Okay.
um, do you have a specific Ouija board you think is what's your favorite Ouija board ever made?
I've got it here actually. Now, this was given to me by my best friend on my 13th birthday. It is a comic, but in order to continue my practices in the quiet, there we go. My first Ouija board that survived since I was 13, and I've still got it. So
That's
That
that's my
is
cool.
favorite.
so cool.
That's my favorite.
Jeff wants to get his hands on that one. That is
That
really
one,
No,
cool. I
that's a
like
one of a
that.
kind. That's cool.
that one's special.
That is a
That one's
one of a kind. So, Damien, when you pass away, just put it in your will that it goes to Jeff's museum.
along
well,
with the skin.
my body. I'm not having a funeral, so I've already started my gravestone on my back with tattoos.
Is that what you're doing? What is your plan then? Let's talk about that. Like that's
Body
interesting.
either goes to science or haunted museum.
There you go, Jeff.
I've just got to survive long enough. If I make it past 52, 52 is the cut-off point.
Okay.
I'm supposed to die by electricity.
Is that have the spirits told you that?
Yeah, from birth.
Okay. Okay.
Oh wow.
I get electrocuted. Either that or it's my past life where on the same day and time I was born, somebody crashed their plane in a storm in the Highlands, struck by lightning. So whether or not that's my past life, I don't know. Never looked into it and hypnotized.
Okay. So as you're saying that past life, like literally my body reacts just like yours does. And that's how I know like when spirit's talking to me and my body's reacting when you said past life. So,
Yeah.
but sometimes we repeat past life deaths.
Correct. So
But you
because of
said you
that,
also
which is why I'm scared of electricity, because anything I touch either breaks, blows up, erases itself, or just goes haywire. I have to be careful with electronics.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have a lot of electricity within your body. Like
I must have,
you're
because
probably I think you resonate higher is it like than most.
yeah, I can blow light bulbs, white credit cards, lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I've seen.
Blow a computer
So
by
you're a
turning up.
walking poltergeist. You're not only a walking Ouija board, you're a walking poltergeist.
I'd actually say an EMP man.
EMP. There we go. EMP. So, and that probably, and like, I'm feeling like I'm not doing a past life reading right now, but I do feel like that's part of like that past life stuff. So,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're going to die of electricity in this life, but if we believe it, it will come true. That's our thoughts and our brains and how they work,
Well, as soon as I turn
sometimes.
52, I'm getting locked away in a padded room with nothing there. So if I can make it to 53, I'll
Don't fly
let
on a
myself out.
plane during a storm.
Is that's what your plan? Like when you turn
That's my
52,
plan.
you're going to go. Okay. How
Put
old are you
myself into
now?
a padded room.
If you don't mind sharing, how old are you now? You don't have to share.
I am 43, 44 next month.
Okay, so we got some time.
8 years.
8
Not that I'm
years.
counting.
Oh wow. So I guess my question for you before I interrupted my own self was, what is your spookiest story that you have when it comes to using yourself as a Ouija board? Will you share that with us?
The spookiest. Well, there's probably two. The
Okay.
scariest I couldn't prove was a slinky going down the stairs on its own, which was a trigger object.
Okay.
And then the second one was probably in my previous house with a shadow person on the wall, and the person woke me up to see what it was. I woke up, stood up, tried to wave my hands around it, try and find out where the shadow was coming from. Couldn't find where the shadow was coming from. Touched the shadow, and immediately said, "You're imagining things," and went straight back to sleep. And it annoys me to this day that I did that. That's not me at all. So that shadow person put me to sleep.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
But I touched it. So there is one other witness to that, though. Just, I would normally have got a camera and took photos and tried to debunk it, but no, just went straight back to sleep. I can still see it
So
in my head.
do you have Asian descent?
Asian.
Have you done your
African,
genealogy?
Yeah. I'd say African, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's African, French, maybe a bit of German, English, Scottish, maybe Irish. It's kind of a mix
Okay.
because Europeans are kind of like that.
Yeah,
definitely.
it's a big mix. There's a big mix. I'm just like, I keep seeing like this, I don't know, like this Asian type. Maybe you have one with you, an Asian type person with you. Do you have someone that you've picked up along the way that might be Asian?
No, possibly, because I've been to a few mosques.
Okay.
So, I mean, I
think
use my arms everywhere. When they say that you can't do ghost hunt in this premises, I can.
Because you can go anywhere and just feel it. Like you
Pretty
hold
much,
your
yeah.
arms out like this, and
Yeah.
then without having to use the tooth, you can actually feel like the vibration on the letter.
Well, what I actually do is I'll sit with a book like that in front of me, which
Hi,
is
Darren.
it covers my arms. So
Darren says, "I love Asian." I hope you're talking about food.
And me.
I had Ruben Josh tonight for dinner, actually.
Oh, Jeff, do you have a spooky story? Well, I know we have that was weird.
What happened?
You just left and came back.
That wasn't me.
I'm serious. Did you see that? He just like disappeared and came back.
Yeah.
I'm Houdini.
Because I was asking about yours. Oh no, it's not Houdini. Those are your boards. Okay, so I feel like there was a reason tonight you needed to be here and with Damien on, and I feel Jeff has the murder hotel in PA. It's Darren. So I feel like there's a connection, maybe a bigger connection than just you both like Ouija boards somewhere deep down the line. And when I asked about that, like I was going to ask you, what is your spookiest story besides the ones you just told us about, your experiences in the paranormal in general, maybe not just with Ouija boards.
Oh boy. Well, there was this one time at the Lizzie Borden house.
Oh.
It was the weirdest thing. Like, we were getting done doing the investigation. We actually played on the Ouija board that was there at Lizzie Borden house.
Mm-hmm.
And then I literally went through the whole house trying to find a place to sleep for the night. And the only place I could get comfortable in the whole house, and I tried like 15 different beds or however many there was there, and I only fell asleep on the replica couch where Lizzie's father got murdered in the same position. Only way I fell asleep.
Okay.
That's yeah, and so you just did an event with Sam,
Yep.
who is a descendant of Lizzie Borden.
Yes, he is.
Did you tell him that story?
Was that the
I've
Unsolved Murders from
never.
1892?
I've talked about it a few times, but I've never really talked about it.
Was that the Unsolved Murders in 1892 house?
Yeah, the Lizzie Borden house in
The
Fall
Lizzie
River.
Borden, she
Yeah.
axed her parents.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah. Yeah. You might not know a lot about some of the American stories, but Lizzie Borden was supposedly the one who axed her parents. We do not know for sure if it was her, but she took an axe to both of her parents. There's lots of different legends and stories about it.
And I actually put that on, posted that today. Actually, I think it's one of my locations I wanted to go to.
Yes, it's worth it.
Well, Sam, how do you say his last name? Because I'm horrible at pronouncing names.
Bartrusis.
Bartrusis
Yes.
is a descendant of the Lizzie Borden house.
Okay.
You probably have seen him. He you're part of the Get Haunted Network. I believe he's in that. Like, I reach out to him and I think that'd be a good conversation, to talk to him. And
he's awesome.
He wrote a book. He is an awesome guy. He really is. So, wow. I'm just like,
see, I really want to go to that hotel in America that's got the biggest Ouija board on the roof. I want to be the human Ouija board on the Ouija board. You know what I mean?
That'd be freaking cool.
Now
I was near it the other day.
Oh wow.
That's the Grand, right? The Grand Hotel, or is that?
Yeah, it's over in PA.
Yeah.
I know. I'm supposed to, I got an invite to go. I don't know if you saw, in the beginning of my ad, and I talked about the Central PA horror. I try to say horror without saying whore, because it says when I say it, it comes out as whore. That's just my accent. That convention I'm doing, in not this weekend but next. I have friends who are investigating that hotel, and I'm like, oh my god, how do I do both?
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I would love to sit on a chair with wheels and see what happens.
Yes. Oh yes.
That sounds
because
like
of your
fun.
body, you're almost like the planchette.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we totally need to do
If I
that when
hug
you
you,
get over
you're my
here.
planchette.
Oh,
I have a human
Danielle,
planchette.
what day in November are you going?
You've got a human planchette, did you say?
Yes, I do. It's made out of a human scapula bone.
Oh,
That's right. You did say that. Yes.
Nice.
Now tell us, Jeff, about the blood board. I want you to tell us about the blood board. My bladder is screaming, so if they stop talking, you need to not have dead air.
All right.
So tell us about the blood board. You already told me about it, so I'm going to go to the bathroom while you do that.
I got it from an artist from PA, and he somehow drew his blood, put it in a dish, and painted this board with it. And it's of Aleister Crowley.
Nice.
And
painted the board or painted the letters and numbers?
Painted the whole board. There is blood
painted over the whole board.
Oh yeah, I wish I didn't have it in my totes right now and show everybody.
That is awesome.
It's quite the sight to see.
That's a lot of blood.
Yeah, there was probably quite a bit.
Have you used that one then?
No, that's just for show. I look at a lot of my boards as museum pieces. I don't want anything getting attached to them, even though a few already do.
Yeah.
And plus, like some of my boards, they're worth like $3,000-$4,000 a piece.
Wow.
And like, if I used them, they could get damaged or
Yeah.
something could scrape them or scratch them, and then they don't look at
Yeah,
nice.
it goes down. Yeah.
Like my 1891 board, we took it out at the last event, and when we were doing Staticom, and we did an experiment with Staticom. We put the planchette on the board, and I put it on yes, and we asked Staticom first off, "What is this on the table?" And it goes out, Ouija board. And then all of a sudden, we're like, "Okay, where is the planchette on the board?" And it says yes. It was like mind blowing.
No, that is awesome.
Then
That
we
is
would move it around the board and even hid it from everybody so no one could see where exactly the planchette was. And it said 8, and it was on the 8. Like, that was freaking mind blowing.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
A lot of things do happen that are unexplained. Like, so what did you what were we using? Did you say to get the words for?
Staticom.
Staticom, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Do you know Ron and Lourdes, the Staticom, Damien? Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I really wanted a shot with it. I really wanted a shot with it.
Yeah. They're going to be on the show here on the 20. It's right before Thanksgiving, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So hopefully, maybe we can run some Staticom then. I don't know how that works over the live thing.
That'd be cool.
But I
so much fun.
First time, I know, and the first time I've met them, but the first time I actually attended one of their seances, I felt so connected to it because my first experience as a child, blow drying my hair is when I heard conversations. So it was almost like I needed the static to hear the conversations, and I could hear and even to this day, like I can, if there's static, I can white noise. That's when I can hear conversations and I can hear things going on. So I really connected with it. Like I love the Staticom. I love what they're doing.
My longest
They were
session
just
with
recently.
I've done 8 hours Estes method.
Yes. How do you do your Estes method? Do you do it like the traditional way with a spirit box?
Yeah, I've got PSB 11A and C to use. So I just strap that to my ears and then just let it run. So the longest I've used it for is 8 hours.
And you kind of go in a trance, don't you?
Yeah, you can pull yourself. I can pull myself out though.
Okay, because we did recently. We were at the St. Augustine Lighthouse. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's here in America, in Florida. It's
I think it's
a notoriously haunted place.
Twin Paranormal done a show there.
A lot of people have done shows there. We were just on. Actually, I'm on a YouTube show that we did there with some younger kids, and he did a Estes method there, and he couldn't get out. Like he was dazed, and he actually was sitting there doing the Estes method, and his hat flew off his head. And I mean, there's video of it. There's no way. There's no one that, like, he didn't move his head, nothing. It just flew off his head. And it was like, they're younger. And I was like, guys, you need to go take a break. Like you need to take that break. Cause he didn't know how to, he was so dazed afterwards. Cause it can get you into that.
Oh, it can. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't just do 8 hours straight off the bat. It took me a long time to build up to that. Because as soon as you get past 2 or 3 hours, that's when you start hallucinating in your head. And then it kind of chills out after 4 hours, and then it's just pure, just voices. Usually.
Have you ever heard of why am I thinking of? Oh, we're here.
No.
Okay.
I was just.
Why did his brain? It just went out. Edgar Casey. Have you ever heard of Edgar Casey?
No.
Well, I know you've heard of his method before, because I think that's where the Estes method actually. I don't know if that's where it's derived from, but Edgar Casey. There's actually an institute where he was hypnotized, and then he would speak to spirit world. And it's more of the Akashic records. He's more of a Akashic records type thing. That's kind of where his thing. But he would like go into this trance, and when you said that about going into 8 hours, after 4 hours, you kind of level off. And I'm wondering if it's a similar type of experience where Edgar Casey would get hypnotized, go into a trance, and tell us things that, obviously he didn't have white noise or anything like that.
I'll certainly have to look into that one, actually.
Yeah, look into Edgar Casey.
Yeah, because like I say, the hardest bit is getting past the 3 hours.
Yeah. So is it that it's... I've never done it for that long, so I'm trying to think, like, is it the you fighting it at that point, and then after that you stop fighting?
I think your body fights it more than you fight it. I don't think you can control your body from trying to stop it, and then it just either gives up or they win over. I'm not sure which.
Okay, so Damien has something keep popping back and forth on the black spot on his wall. Do you guys see that on your screen? So
Black spot.
Maybe that's the Asian thing I'm picking up on.
Could be.
And then
I mean, all my ghost on that unit.
That's where she keeps seeing someone.
I mean, I've got my Aztec death whistle here.
Aztec death whistle.
Yeah, a bell.
We got one too.
Yeah, you can't go without the bell. And I didn't like.
I know my bells. My bells for a different reason. It's when I get off topic and start talking. When my 12-year-old boy mind comes out, which it has not tonight. I'm very proud of myself.
Well, the death whistle, that was actually used on Game of Thrones.
That's kind of cool.
Okay.
And at the final scene when the Iron Throne melted by the dragon and all the spirits escaped from it and it was screaming. I mean, that's the noise they made. That's
what that is. Okay, that's the death whistle. Okay. Yes.
I won't blow it because a lot of people don't like it.
I know, and hopefully everybody's watched the show because you just gave like that was a major spoiler alert.
I've never seen it myself.
You've never seen it? Oh my god, I'm such a geek. I watch all this type of shows right now. So speaking of like being a geek out on shows, because we have Kevin McIntyre here, and I'm watching Outlander.
That's all right. That's good. Yeah, very good series. Scottish. Very good.
I'm totally very enthralled by. I kind of wish I wasn't Irish. I wish I was Scottish right now. I wish I had more Scot in me. So it like, I don't. Have you watched the show? Have you watched Outlander at all?
I've seen a few episodes.
I haven't.
Okay.
My brother-in-law used to drive a lot of the cast around from the airports to film and stuff. So
because they filmed there, they filmed
right, yeah.
in Scotland. I was going to ask you, how accurate is it? Like, I don't know about the history. I know some of the history, but how it talks about like the Battle of Culloden and how Scotland was taken over by the British. Like, I didn't know how like accurate is some of that stuff on there. If you know, if not, it's not a big deal.
They've kept it as true as they possibly can without damaging too much of the relations, if you know what I mean. But a lot of it is based on fact.
Do you guys still hate the British?
Well, no, they hate us. And I can say that because I am English. I was born in England, so. But
okay, so you were born in England. Okay.
But both parents are Scottish, and I moved here when I was 15, so over 50% of my life has been here now. So.
Okay. And where at in Scotland are you?
Edinburgh, capital.
Oh, you're in Edinburgh. Okay.
So I've got Edinburgh Castle and Arthur's Seat just 2 minutes away.
Oh wow! I've never been. It's someplace. It's on my.
Hold your ears.
What?
Jeff, are you awake, Jeff?
Oh, Jeff's
yes,
asleep.
I am. What do you mean?
It's a place that I want to go. Your eyes. Okay, so
you just twitched. And
we have this saying. You need to, okay, Danielle, Shauna, if you're still here, Jeff needs a pair of the glasses too. Where are your glasses?
In your car.
Okay. these are my squinty eye friends right here. Where you at? There we go.
I've been up
Um,
since
I've got squinty eyes.
5:30 this morning, so
I mean, what
Yeah, I
time is
get
it?
up at
It's
4.
nearly
I'm like,
3 a.m. Actually, it's nearly the 3 a.m. witching hour.
Oh, it is there. It is in your time. It's almost the witching hour. Yeah, we
Yeah.
run till about here ending here soon. I try to go an hour and a half, and I know we're over our hour. But Darren says I have glasses. Hi, Susan. I'm glad you join on with us.
Yeah, I think we all need
Um,
glasses at a certain age.
Right? I know. It's like I like when you show something on the screen, I have to go like this because I can't
Yeah,
see.
I had to put mine on because
Um,
I can feel my eye getting a little bit sore. So
yeah.
I can't I
So,
can't turn my screen to dark mode.
oh, you can't turn it to dark mode?
No, I don't know how to do
Okay.
that.
See, I have mine on dark. I have mine
Oh,
on
you have
dark. I
to
don't
tell
know
me how
how
to
I
do
did
that
it.
then.
I don't know if I know how. I think it just like when I
turn to sync
set
the
up my
background.
computer, it let me. Well, no, StreamYard is on dark mode, but my computer is not. I don't know if I
You
know how to
wouldn't
do
better
this.
see them. It's not dark.
So with it being in Scotland, like if I would come over,
Hmm.
like, can you investigate certain areas? Like, I mean, obviously you can, like, but
Yeah,
is there like certain area, like in the castle, like do they have open investigations, or is that just one of those things you gotta kind of go in there with your stuff?
you've just got to kind of go in
So,
there. I was
yeah.
kind of lucky to work at Edinburgh Castle, so I've been on the roof of the castle, and I've also been down in the moats. I've been inside the walls, so I've been a lot of places in that castle that you can't get to, and done investigations myself. So
Yeah, because you have to, be an
I can't
employee to
carry
get
equipment, but I can carry my arms.
okay. Um, I'm really
But
lifting over
if
here.
you're thinking about doing Edinburgh, I would say the Old Town, the Underground Vaults, Niger Street. That's the
Okay.
place to go. Mary King's Close.
Okay. So I'm big on, for some reason, my big thing is like restaurants and pubs that are haunted. Like what are some, I mean, have you had some experiences in pubs around there, or is there some place like if I or somebody else want to go to, you should definitely go.
I actually worked part of the basement, which was part of the underground city, and the pub next door to us was the Banshee Labyrinth, which has been on. It's very haunted in that place, but because I was in the basement next door, a lot of the spirits used to visit next door, which I was working. So between the hours of 3 a.m. to 8 a.m., I had full access to the club on my own. So I
Oh,
got to
wow.
test a lot of equipment there and got to know the spirits very well.
That's so you call it's called the Banshee Labyrinth.
Correct, yeah.
No wonder why it's haunted. So,
that'd be cool.
like there's a big elemental piece to a lot of stuff in Scotland, Ireland.
Yeah, a
A
lot of
banshee
energy.
obviously is an elemental being,
Mm.
so to speak, more of a legendary being, but I still feel like falls in the elemental lines. Um, the vaults are amazing. Kevin has been over there. Kevin has family. He is Scottish
I,
by
worked,
heart.
I worked the vaults for 5 years, so I got to know the spirits very well. Played chess with one of them.
Did you really? So how did that work with the playing of chess? Like, was it through your arms
No.
or?
Set up a chessboard in the basement, moved a piece and left it, and went back, and another piece had moved.
Oh,
I'm the
that's
only
so
one in the
cool.
building, so no explanation. They didn't
That's
move
it,
two
now.
pieces. I did try that.
Is chess a English game or is that a Scottish game? That was the English game, right?
I'd say it's more sort of like Middle East, China
Is it a Middle East?
originated, I reckon.
Okay.
It's a game of kings, so it's got a very long history.
Yeah, it does.
It's
I've never
definitely
learned
a
how to play.
fun but challenging game.
Sorry, what was that?
I said it's a fun but challenging game.
Yeah, I was ranked 16, ranked 32 in under 16s in Nottingham
Wow.
County.
Dang.
Then I retired, moved to Scotland.
Moved to Scotland. Where at in England? Were you born?
The land of Robin Hood, Nottingham.
My
Yeah.
heart. That's I'm definitely watching
Men in
those
Tights.
movies and not Men in Tights, but no, the one with what was his name?
Kevin Costner.
Kevin
Prince of Thieves.
Costner. Yes, Prince of Thieves.
No,
Yeah. But
Very good
I mean,
movie.
and it was a very good movie. It was definitely a romanticized version of what was actually occurring during that time with taxes
Right, yeah.
and there are a lot of different people that tried to fight against that, and that's what his story was about. I know it's technically a legend, but I think like those kind of things really did happen.
Yeah. Well, they say that
during that time.
Merlin was a legend and King Arthur was a legend, but they've proven that there is truth behind. There's no smoke without fire. I mean,
Yeah,
the
didn't
Welsh.
they find the sword?
Correct, yeah. But then you've got the Welsh
Yeah.
with the dragons. So why did they use a dragon? Unless there was a dragon.
I do believe there was once dragons. That is a strong belief of mine.
If I
I
go
do believe that.
across the bridge to Fife, then their mythological creature's a unicorn.
Yeah.
So
And I
they all
believe
they've
they're
all existed of
possibly.
some sort. So either that or
Mhm.
misinterpreted by something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe in unicorns. I actually do. I believe that they like I do a lot of animal spirit stuff, and I feel like, a lot of people are like, well, a unicorn is my spirit animal and a dragon is. And I'm like, that's perfectly fine because, these supposed mythological creatures, could possibly exist or have existed.
Well, you want to know
And
why they don't exist anymore?
why?
Because they lost a poker match to the narwhals.
I was waiting. I knew there was a joke coming.
It
I was
was a
wondering where it was
joke.
going. Actually, I was like, "There's a joke. There's a joke." That's good.
So you don't know Jeff like I do.
I
But
just
you
wish I
guys
was.
definitely need.
I just
You
wish I
wish
was
what?
quicker. Just wish I was quicker. I'm a bit slow, and I mean, 24 hours from now, I'll think, "Oh, I could have said this. I could have said that," but moment's gone.
So Darren says something, people stopped believing in them. And that, I love that phrase
Yeah.
because I think a lot of times, like we when we believe in stuff, we manifest it.
Correct. Yeah. If you get enough people to think and believe in something, it can be manifested. So if you untrain society to not, then
Mhm.
it could be.
Jeff, weren't we having that conversation earlier today? We were talking about that on the phone about, was that you I was talking to about believing in stuff we were talking about? I forget what we were talking about. Like,
Bigfoot hunting, maybe?
no, we were talking about a location or something and how maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was somebody else. But like there's enough, like if enough people put energy into something, it can manifest, we can
That
believe
is
it and
true.
it can be true. Our brains are a powerful entity, and you got to look at that. Like if we can manifest these negative spirits and we can manifest these things, we can also manifest the positive. We can manifest anything we want by thinking it. That is my belief. So Darren says, read Pears Anthony on a Pale Horse. It's a great series. I don't know. I've never heard of that. Anybody heard of that?
No.
I've never heard of it.
I never have.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
I don't
And
read
then
much unless it's a spooky story.
I
Because that's what I
think
do.
we still have them, but they're hidden from the majority. Yes.
Because before I start an investigation, I'll actually read a short story to the spirits just to get to know them and relax them. So that's what I
Really?
do read.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that idea. I never thought about reading the story to them.
And that's before I set any equipment up. That's just a meet and greet, is what I call it.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite equipment besides yourself?
Pendulum, I think. Pendulum at the moment, for sure.
Which is definitely an extension of yourself, actually. Yeah.
I mean, I've got it right there, so.
What is your, like, my theory? I'm gonna tell you my theory on pendulums, and let me know what yours is. I believe that subconsciously we already have the answers in our brain, and when we ask the questions through the pendulum, we're not moving our arm, but the energy from our brain that we subconsciously already know it will start to move that pendulum.
I've done it without holding it.
What did you say?
I did it without holding it.
Without holding it. Okay, so then that would be, but still our energy force, because we can project that energy.
Yeah, the only thing I haven't tried yet is locking it in a glass case or cabinet and trying to see if it works that way. I've not done that yet.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Make it airtight.
Yeah, airtight so nothing can get in. Yeah, I like that idea.
But
Okay.
you can do that. You can do that with feathers, though. I've seen it done where you put a glass case on a feather that's balanced and it rotates on the inside.
Oh
of the
yes,
glass.
and it kind of, I've seen that before. Yeah, it kind of
I've done
moves
that,
back and
but not
forth.
with the pendulum.
Yeah, I have seen that before with the feather in the glass case, and it moves like.
Yeah, I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that somewhere before.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
What do you
cool.
put it on? A wooden dowel rod?
I guess balance it on something.
Yeah, it's like a sharp pin that's just poked into the hard membrane of the feather, so it just rotates.
Oh, so it's like a needle or a pin. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Okay. Well, our show is almost coming to an end. I wanted to see, like, do you have any final words that you want to say to our audience, or anything you want to, bring up before we end the show?
Definitely a big shout out to everybody in Florida or affected by this storm. Please look out for each other. Keep yourself safe.
Well, I was actually, you read my mind. That was what I was going to say. I want to take a moment.
I wish I was
want to
psychic.
say, you are a little bit. I want to say that, let's all take a moment and send some energy that way to weaken that storm. It is going to be massive. I lived in Florida during a storm like this back in the 80s, and there hasn't been one since like this. And I remember the devastation it caused then.
I was born in a triangle of 101 twister tornadoes in Britain. The Great Storm of the 80s.
Oh,
you can Google it.
The weather is a destructive force, can be a destructive force. So everybody, if you can, please send energy to try to weaken the storm. It's supposed to hit landfall sometime tomorrow. I have some friends that are in a direct path of it. I've tried to convince them to come stay with me, but unfortunately, like, not everybody has the money to be able to even have the gas money to come up this way. If anybody who's listening, that does get affected.
The roads are gridlock as well. I mean, they're getting
it is
stuck.
As of now. Yeah, as of now, and the people that are there, just send a protective shield, everybody, over these people that are there, and let's give them some good energy to pass and weather the storm that's coming through. It's
a big shout out to Animal, my best pal. He's in the eye of it, so
yes,
a lot of good folk are going to get hopefully the best.
So we're going to do our best as a collective to help those, and then when it's done and it's through, we will do what we can do, all of us, to help those who have been affected. Darren says, "Night, everyone. Jeff, get some sleep."
I need some sleep. I worked
We do.
almost a 12-hour shift today.
Yeah.
No sleep for me yet. A few hours yet. Another 3 hours.
Yeah, because right now it's about 5 minutes to 3, right? Okay. On your end. So we're going to end pretty much.
Sleep for 3 hours, then I'll be awake again.
Yeah, you don't do a lot of sleep, do you?
No, very little.
No. Yeah.
Between 3 and 5 hours a day. If I'm lucky.
Really? I'm about. I would say I'm probably similar. I wonder if that's some of those psychic connections. I'm running on about 4 hours right now. So yeah, I don't sleep much. I really don't. I'm up late. He's in there snoring, and I'm like wide awake.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I get a lot more done.
Right?
Yeah, I just been driving 12 hours today.
You drive. You do a lot of driving.
Wow.
Lots of driving. It's
I'm going to drive at night. There's no on the road. That's the only time I drive.
Darren doesn't want us to end. He's like, "Say isn't so." It's Oh, I appreciate everybody that's been on here tonight. And thank you guys. Thank you, Jeff, for coming on.
Absolutely amazing.
I know this was kind of a last minute thing.
Yeah, good night, you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I appreciate you all. And remember, like, for those of you who are watching and you guys here too, don't forget to fill your cup first. Self-care is so important. Fill your cup before you can pour from another. And we will see you next time and next week. And I hope you all have a wonderful night.